you're a single woman over 40 looking for love, but you constantly second guess yourself when it comes to dating, doubting your decisions about who to date and for how long, and you feel like you always get it wrong until it's in hindsight, this episode is for you. I'll talk about the most important skill to develop when looking for love so you can stop draining all your energy, focusing on the wrong things, and find the love you desire. Let's get started. Welcome to episode 1 of season 3. I am so excited about this lineup we have and all the things that we're going to get into in season 3. So if you've been following along on how to find love after 40 and how to stop wasting your time chasing unavailable guys, I'm really excited for what we're going to do in season 3. This whole season, we're going to focus on using your intuition to find love. And this is based on an audio course I've done, which over 2,700 people have gone through, and it has something like a 4.8 or 4.9 star rating, and people just love it. So I'm going to be giving you nice nuggets and different things from that course throughout season 3. We're going to really focus on the most important thing that you need to develop, the skill, ability, whatever you want to call it, in order to find love and to stop being duped by unavailable guys or just feeling like you're going around in circles and dating the same person over and over again in a different body. If you're all on board for this, then you're going to love this episode. Today, we're going to start with a foundational piece and what is intuition? Basically, Intuition 101. And so you're probably wondering, why should you listen to me about intuition? Well, if you don't know my background, or if you haven't listened to the episode, a couple of episodes in season 1 on my story, I'm going to give you a brief overview and then go more in depth into my experience with intuition. So I call myself an intuitive dating coach because I've had many decades of experience working with my own intuition and using my intuition skills and ability to help tune in for other people. And my coaching clients over the last 15 plus years and working with women and men around the world to help them to tune into their intuition and then to also help them to see the blind spots that they might not be seeing, the hidden things that are going on in their life or in their patterns, in their circumstances that they have missed. And so I've been able to very gratefully tune into that for them and help them see that. So it started off with being very sensitive, and I will talk about the difference between empathy and being sensitive and intuition because they are different things. But I started off being very sensitive in my family growing up and just being the one who always could feel what other people were feeling and walk into a room and sense the emotional landscape or be able to really figure out, okay, this is what this person is feeling, and just seeing like an overall map of everyone's emotional terrain and being able to navigate my life in that sense. And so I developed it, not really knowing what it was at first. And then after I was 18 and into my 20s, I started to really explore the world of personal development and intuition and all of that fun stuff, which some people might call it woo-woo or new age or whatever you want to say. That is really my background. I loved it from the beginning. I started off loving astrology and then getting more into that personal development piece and, what is energy and chakras and all the things around that. And so I studied it more and more, and I became a Reiki teacher in 2010. And as soon as I did my Reiki levels, which if you don't know what that is, it's called an attunement. And what it does is it opens up your energy field so that you can have this life force flowing through you and really be able to tap into things that are beyond your body, beyond your mind, beyond any explanation of what is the here and now and what you can see with your eyes. It goes beyond that. And so as soon as I started doing that and diving into the world of energy, I realized, wow, I can really sense a lot of things that other people can't really sense? Or, is anyone else seeing this? Is anyone else feeling this? So you might resonate if you've had a similar path with being able to see and feel and hear or experience things that a lot of people don't really talk about or are not able to do. And so once I realized, wow, this could be a very helpful thing for me and for other people, I started to train more and have clients and to help them. And the more I tuned in for them and tuned in for myself, people were saying, wow, this is amazing. This is really spot on. I can't believe that you were able to tap into this. And as I developed this intuition, I realized that it's not really an important thing to be able to see things and pass it on to someone else. The more important thing is to be able to teach people to do it for themselves. And so this empowering piece really continued on into my work and evolved into the dating coaching and helping people to see what is in their own energy, to tune into their own experiences energetically and intuitively, to see where their blind spots are and to lead them towards the life and the love that they are truly desiring. And so that's kind of an overview of my experience. And so I've worked with hundreds of women and some men around the world doing this for them and just realizing what is intuition and why are so many people, like myself was in the beginning, struggling to find love. And I hit on the main thing. It was because they're in their head and not in their heart, not tuned into their intuition. And so you can imagine just being thrown all over the place like a bag in the wind when you're not actually being guided by your intuition. And so I really started to dial into this piece, and that's where this Master Your Intuition to Find Love course blossomed, and why I'm talking to you about intuition. It is really the critical missing piece if you've been really struggling and feeling like you're going around in circles or doubting yourself or second guessing yourself. Just this piece alone of learning how to tune into your intuition, how to trust and listen to your intuition, which is going to be the focus of season 3, is going to be life-changing for you. I can tell you this based on my own personal experience and meeting my husband, and also the experience of my clients. All right, so let's talk about what is intuition. Okay, so a lot of people kind of get this mixed up because there's so many terms out there. There's being empathic, being sensitive, being intuitive. And I want to really give you a sense of what is intuition. Intuition is your guidance system. It is the ability to tap into something greater than you. So whether you call it God or source or creator, whatever term you use, it's something that is beyond your physical body, beyond your regular life, your everyday life of you and your body, and getting up and going to work and eating breakfast and all those things. It goes beyond that to connect to some people call it your higher purpose or your life purpose or your soul purpose. And it's that connection between you as a person and your bigger life purpose. And so it's a guidance, a GPS system that is helping you to do that. And the difference between, say, being empathic, like I was talking about earlier, is the ability to tune into other people. And so when you have empathy, you can walk into a room and say, oh, this person is feeling sad and this other person is feeling dismissed and angry, and the two of them are fighting because of this and because of that. And so you have all of this information, and it's information about another person or other people that are in your life. And you can really tune in, and you've developed those skills and abilities to put yourself in someone else's shoes. It's all about the other person and people that are external to you. And depending on your abilities and the skills that you've tapped into in your life, you can be very, very good at this, and almost to the point where people are amazed, like, wow, I can't believe that you know this about me, or that you figured out this is what I'm feeling and this is what I'm doing, versus being, just sort of good at it to a sense of like, I know kind of what's going on with other people. And it's a whole spectrum, and it's everything in between, but it's focused on other people. And you can have as Brene Brown differentiates it, between cognitive empathy, which is understanding mentally what someone else is going through. Like, oh, this person lost their job. I can understand that would be very upsetting and hurtful and scary, versus the affective empathy, which is being able to tune in or attune to someone's emotional experience of being fired. So not only do you understand mentally in your mind that someone would be feeling very afraid or displaced if they were fired, they would also be able to feel the sense of sadness, of betrayal, of fear in their heart, and just really feeling that emotional experience of the other person. And those are the two types of empathy. But as I was saying, it's directed towards the other person. And so being empathic and sensitive is someone who's very good at that piece. And being intuitive, that is about you. Being intuitive is tuning into your life path, connecting to your guidance system, your communication system with something that is beyond your regular life, to your higher self or your bigger purpose or your greater purpose or whatever you want to call it. And so the being intuitive is tapping into your own connection to your body, to your higher self, to God or the universe or Mother Earth, if that's how you want to think of it. It goes beyond you, but it is focused on what you are here to do. That's what your intuition is going to help you to, fulfill your dreams of having this love relationship, or, creating this life of your dreams with your dream relationship. This is the big, big purpose, the bigger picture. And so that's the difference between empathy and being sensitive, being an empath, and being intuitive. And so we can use both, obviously, but we don't want to get too focused on externally what other people are going through. And that's what I see the main issue of women that I've worked with, and what I teach about is we don't want to be overly focused on other people. We want to be able to tune in to our heart. We want to be able to say, what am I feeling? What is my true desire for my life? What is my ultimate heart's desire? And then your intuition can start to tell you about that and start to give you those steps, like the nudges, the messages that we're all looking for, that we want, the answers. And so when we think about our intuition and, follow this logical explanation of how our intuition can help us, is it will help you to rise above your circumstances and rise above your mental pretzel that you're in, twisting yourself into all of these thoughts like, oh, I'll never find anybody, or, in this city, there's more women than men, and so I'll never have a chance. And, men my age don't like me, and I'll never be able to find someone who's the right fit. And so all of these mental gymnastics of your mind going around in circles can cause you to feel deflated, can make you want to give up and just feel like, oh, there's no point. And I've talked to a lot of women who've said, I'm just not going to date anymore because I'm exhausted. I'm burnt out. And we're going to have an episode on dating burnout, so don't worry about that. We'll have more on that for sure. But that is an experience that is so valid right now. It's women saying, I don't even know if there's a point going onto these dating apps because nothing happens, or the guys are all crazy, or they're married, or they don't want what I want. And so this mental, almost like a hurricane going around and around in circles, it will cause you to want to give up. And so how our intuition helps us is it helps you to rise above those thoughts, and we're not ignoring them. We're not ignoring our experiences or our feelings. We have to process them. But our intuition is going to help us to feel inspired, to rise above those limiting beliefs, to rise above the self-doubt and the overwhelming sense of, what am I doing? Is this going to work? All of those emotions that we go through. And so I want you to really think about how important it is to really use your intuition to find love, to let it help you, to guide you, to propel you forward to what you are desiring and what kind of life you want to create. And another thing to think about is women will often say to me, I'm very intuitive and I get a sense of, this is right or this is wrong for me, or maybe I shouldn't go out on a date with this guy. And a lot of times we'll ignore that. And I know I did this in the past too. And so that's what I also teach about is how do we listen? How do we trust and listen to our intuition? Because maybe we've been burned multiple times and we're like, well, I don't even know the difference between a message or fear, or am I going in the wrong direction? Is this the real thing I should be following? And so look for more teaching on those topics specifically in the coming episodes. But for now, I really want you to tune into the fact that your intuition is here for you. It's wonderful to be empathic, and it's wonderful. We need to be tuned into each other, and we need to be able to know how to feel what another person's feeling or going through. But we also need to balance that out by using our own intuition, which is here for us to help us to specifically create our dream life, our dream relationship, to have the experiences we truly desire in your heart. And you can see how important this is. This is not just, someone on my YouTube was saying as a comment that your heart doesn't talk. And I really wanted to make sure that everyone hears the truth around that. The truth is that your heart is speaking to you all the time. Your intuition is here to guide you. You have all of this help to help you beyond and to navigate all this self-doubt and the issues and barriers and problems and limiting beliefs that we all go through that seems to stop us or make us want to give up on love. And I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to say, okay, I'm feeling deflated. I'm feeling upset about this. I feel like there's no chance of finding anyone, and to acknowledge all those things and to help your heart release those emotions, and then get up again and continue on and say, even despite all of these things, the truth is love is available to me. Love is closer than you think, and that you deserve love. You deserve true love. And so I really want you to take that in and say, okay, I'm going to start to use this guidance system that's going to help me beyond what anyone is telling me, like about the stats and my city and how it's impossible to meet anyone these days, and just go beyond all of that information into the truth and to dial into your own intuition and start to trust it. So my story is about finally using my intuition and listening to it so when I went on my date with my husband, not knowing he was going to be my husband, beforehand, I was like, I don't want to go. I'm not ready. I can't go on this date. I'm just going to cancel. And the person I was working with who was helping me said, it's just coffee. It's just a date. And so I literally battled with myself. I battled with my mind for the entire day, going back and forth. No, I'm going to cancel. Maybe I'll just go. No, I don't want to go. And I did that right up until I turned the corner to the restaurant and then saw my husband, and I was like, my heart just lifted up like a beautiful butterfly. Like my heart just took flight. And I knew I was in the right place. And finally, my mind took a back seat and I went into that date and we just closed down the restaurant. And 3 hours later, we were like, wow, that was amazing. And we've been joined at the hip ever since. And so that's an example of me finally saying, okay, I understand that I have all these fears and these things that have happened to me and I don't trust it, the process, and I'm afraid and all of these things. But I finally just continued on and said, I deserve love and I'm going to keep going and see what happens. And so that's what I want for you. All right. So that is the Intuition 101, the basics and how it helps you and why it's important, and the difference between empathy and being sensitive and your intuition. So I hope this has given you a really beautiful foundation to help you continue forward with me to learn how to use your intuition to find love. And remember, love is closer than you think.